Hey everybody, Bonez here, Bonez Garage, just bringing you an update what's going on at the garage. So, 1962 Cadillac Sedan DeVille. We are doing the brakes on her. You can see we have new wheel cylinders because his wheel cylinders were leaking very bad. We left the springs because that spring's really hard to get, but we were able to get one of these springs. And down here, some of the springs down there are bad to get. Put new shoes on it. We're going to take the bearings, clean them all up because the bearings are still good. There's no reason to change them. So we're just going to clean them up, get rid of all the old grease and repack them with all new grease. Same thing with the spindle. Put some nice new grease on that and then put it all together. I have the drums in the back here on the brake lathe and we're cutting the drums. We're on our last and final cut, which is a very slow and steady cut. And you can see, if you're looking at the drum and you look towards the outside on the on the last couple cuts, you can see how out of round or warp that drum was. See where that, boom, that spot, right there. That spot is because the cutting head, which is right there, that is the cutting head right there, which actually surfaces the drum and gets it back to round, was not touching in that one spot that you see come around. So we are on our final cut. With the final cut, it will get rid of that spot, and that is what makes the pedal pulsate, is the drum being out of round. So it's more oval rather than perfectly round. And when you push on the brake coming down from highway speeds, sometimes you'll feel the whole car start to shudder, or you'll feel it in the brake pedal, that pulsation from the brakes. And that is the reason for it, is because your drum or your discs are out of round or warped. So there you go, guys. There's what's going on. I will bring you back up to date. I'll show you the drum once we're finished, what it looks like after it's been cut, and how nice and clean it is. But before I do that, actually, what I do want to show you, this is a drum that we haven't cut yet. And you can see how bad the inner part of this drum is. See right here, it's burned it. The shoes actually burn the metal up, and it causes it to glaze, and that's why you get all these blue ridges and these lines. That's all glazing on it, and that's why it's so shiny, because it's all glazed. And this is an ancient old measuring tool to make sure we are in spec with our drums. In other words, we have enough meat on this drum to be able to resurface it. If it came out of spec, then we'd have to get a new drum. So there you go. There's what's going on. I'll show you the drums once we get them cut. Be back in a few. All right, everybody. So we're back, and we have the drum cut, and you can see how nice that surface is, how nicely clean that surface is. And then you look at this drum, and you can see the difference between the surfaces. So, nice, not so nice. So there you go. And I'll show you setting everything up on the lathe. Give me a minute and we'll be right back. So, we're gonna cut a drum. So the first thing we did was get the right bearing size, sit that. So that's going to slip right into there just like that. Then we're going to take our next one, put it right there, in there, and we take our clutch, put our clutch in, take our nut, put our nut on, and it's a backwards thread. Once you get the nut on, grab your wrench, give it a little, and that'll get us nice and tight onto the arbor for the lathe. Then the next thing we're going to want to do is, come on this side, come over here, I want to show this, is we have to get our cutting tip into the drum. So the first thing we have to do is unlock this, bring our boring bar in, then we're going to bring our drum to our boring bar, and then bring our boring bar back out. Now we're about set. To stop the drum from resonating, you stick this little rubber band on it. Well, very big rubber band. Make it nice and tight. And you want to try and get it as much to the outside of the drum as possible. Visit tollguysonline.com for store hours. Nowhere to park these days. Now that that's on, you can start your machine up. We'll bring our boring bar out to the drum, and you'll hear it just touch. Right there. And there you can hear how out of round this drum actually is. Now we'll lock down our boring bar. We'll bring our drum all the way in. And what I like to do is I like to come all the way to the back of the drum. So this way where the shoe wasn't hitting, we clean all that dirt and material off of there. And right about there is where we want to go to. So now we'll zero this out, get her to 0, and we'll now cut 3/1000ths off of this rim, off of this drum. 1, 2, 3. Once we get that done, we can set our speed. Being that this is our first preliminary cut, we'll set it to 6, hit our clutch, and now she starts cutting. And there you go. That's the setup for cutting a drum. And you can hear how out of round it is, where it goes whoosh, 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 whoosh. So there you go, guys.